A sad truth about life is that people know nothing about themselves.
As I've grown up, I've constantly been realising, Joel, you're an idiot. And as much as that realisation might hurt, every time I'm confronted with the fact that life isn't as simple as I'd like it to be, I learn some really valuable truths that help me move forward. You're a human being, I think, unless you put my video in front of a dog, in which case, woof, I guess? But as you are a human being, you know nothing about yourself, just like me. So I'm going to explain 3 uncomfortable psychological truths about our minds that I've learnt through struggle, so you don't have to. Number 1, the if-then mentality. I'm pretty sure every human being thinks like this. We tell ourselves that if X thing happens, then we will be happy, or be able to relax, or enjoy life, or love and be loved. It seems like we are always waiting for something to happen in our lives, waiting for an if, before we can feel a certain way or do a certain thing. I know many times in the past where I have thought things like, if I achieve this goal, then I will be happy and be able to enjoy my life, or if I had a girlfriend, then everything would be perfect, or if I had made loads of money, then I'd never have to worry or never be anxious. But as I've learned over the last few years, all of those thoughts are bullshit. So why do our minds do this to us? Making us believe that only if something happens in the future can we be happy. It's not very kind, is it? This is where the uncomfortable truth part comes in. Most of us, including you, including I, including that guy outside my window right now, don't enjoy the present moment. Whatever we do, whoever we are, wherever we are, it's really difficult to just sit back and think, life's pretty good, isn't it? We're constantly bombarded with negative news, negative people, small little annoyances that just make us think life is a complete burden. We forget the awe and the gratitude and the love that we can just feel for being alive right here, right now. And as a consequence, we condition our brains to think, well, the future's got to be better than this, so maybe that's the time where I'll be happy or enjoy life. And that's where the if-then mentality arises. The solution is to identify the exact thing that you're delaying for the future, be it happiness, enjoying life, relaxation, love, whatever it is, and try and find that in any way you can in this present moment right now. Because most of us do have little pockets of joy, little pockets of happiness in the things we do day to day, or we can carve out 5-10 minutes to find them. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. I often try to remind myself that although I have grand ambitions for my life, if I ever or when I ever achieve those goals, my day-to-day life won't be that different. I'll still be waking up and despising my alarm clock. I'll still need to eat food. I'll still need to be working. I'll generally need to be going on with the normal human activities. So why should I delay my joy, and why should you delay your joy to some kind of future circumstance outside of your control? The second uncomfortable truth about human psychology is that when we break it down, all we're really doing is chasing brain chemistry. This little molecule is called dopamine, and it is your best friend. Ooh, dopamine friends! This neurochemical is absolutely essential for your normal functioning as a human being. And the more I think about it, the more I realise that all the things we do day to day are just to get a kick of dopamine and other neurochemicals in our brains. The guy who runs a marathon and the guy who does a shot of heroin are looking for the same things, dopamine, or a neurochemical kick. The reason that you want to make money or eat cake or have sex is because of dopamine. You clicked on this video because of dopamine. Thanks, by the way. The uncomfortable part of this truth is that it kind of makes me feel like us as humans are pigeons or rats within a cage, just being fed little neurochemicals to act, being conditioned by the world and our brain's chemistry. We are being conditioned by punishment and reinforcement with all the things we do, and then really, are we acting out of our own free will? Whether we get philosophical or existential or not, we cannot control this. It is a fact of reality. So instead of getting annoyed at this truth, instead of being frustrated or scared by it, we have to learn to harness it. So if dopamine and endorphins make us feel happy and motivated, then why don't we try and do things that get us more dopamine and endorphins?
Wait, does that mean I can do heroin?
No, of course it doesn't. This dude, man. So you don't end up addicted to unhealthy behaviours that trigger the dopaminergic circuits in your brain, like bad food, pornography, drugs. You have to try and find healthy behaviors that release dopamine. I'm talking about things like exercise and working towards valuable goals and doing nice things for people. And what about a cold shower, hey? I dare you. And if you can implement these positive dopamine behaviors into your day-to-day life, then despite the fact you're a little rat or a pigeon in a cage, you can give a little FU to the world and be a really, really happy rat in a cage. Number 3, your thoughts are the most important thing that you have. Let me explain. Something external happens to you in your life. Someone calls you a dickhead. That might be deserved or not. I don't know you personally. But this event will happen, and through your perception and your senses, it goes into your brain. And when it's in your brain, you have a thought reaction. And that thought reaction then creates a feeling. And there's a clear distinction there. It's not the event. It's not someone calling you a dickhead that made you feel sad. It's your thought about someone calling you a dickhead. And that is so key. You decide most of the time what you think about your life and the events that happen. It may not feel like you do, but you do. In this case, someone calls you a dickhead and you have 2 main responses. The first is, hold on, maybe I am a dickhead. Maybe I should just quit. Life's awful. And then you'll feel sad. Or there's the second response where you can think, you know what, I know that I am not a bad person. I do some good things in the world, and this person's probably having quite a bad day, and I just got involved in that bad day with them. And it's not my beef, and I can just go and carry on, and everything's fine. The uncomfortable part of this truth about thoughts creating feelings and not the events themselves is that your happiness is down to you, my friend. And that's a big responsibility to bear. But it also means that your feelings are down to your own control. You can cultivate a certain mindset. You can mold the way you think to have a better life and feel better. So where is your mindset currently at the time you are watching this video? Are you more prone to gratitude, or are you more prone to scarcity? Do you see the world as a positive place of opportunity or a negative place of limitation? Because the way you interact with the world through your thoughts is the most important thing that decides your happiness, your success, and overall how good your life is. And as much as that might be uncomfortable, if your thought patterns, your mindset right now are absolutely in the bin, it's quite empowering because you can hear my voice right now. You can watch this video, you can go away and think, you know what, I'm going to take back some serious control. I'm going to change the way I think about things. I'm going to watch my judgments. So when things inevitably go wrong in your life, because they will, or they probably already have in the past, remember that you can always change your thinking, and you are one big deep breath and one quick change in perspective from feeling better. If you want to know more about changing your mindset, you can watch this video, or you can subscribe to my newsletter in the description where I write an article a week about psychology and personal development. But with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.